everyone who plays video games is probably aware of the cult of Kojima. Now, Kojima apparently is this Japanese man, and legend has it he can cure erectile dysfunction just by touching it. Like, it's really that good. He doesn't make video games, you see. He creates art. He's an artiste. And by the way, I want people to understand, I wasn't a very wealthy person. I still don't consider myself to be wealthy, but I was so poor back in the day that I could never afford the console. So I never experienced these works of art, which is Metal Gear Solid. And by the way, maybe they're good. I'm not saying that I never played them. I wasn't able to play them. Now, when PlayStation 4 came about, and I managed to finally get a console, I still couldn't play them because it doesn't have the backwards compatibility in order to play like Metal Gear Solid 3, 2, and the others. So the only thing that I played was Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. And I watched the trailer, and I was like, wow, this is really nifty, it looks great. And then when you play the game, it's utter shit, except for the intro, which by the way was really cool, and like the point where your base starts being infected by a disease, and you get like that scripted level and stuff. All the other levels look so similar to one another that after you play 1 or 2 hours of the game, it feels like you're playing the same shit over and over. It's like, go into this Russian base, infiltrate, try stealth, oh look, they found you, but you can still defeat them. And it was just so boring. Now, the thing that really pissed me off, and at the time I made the review and said, look, I don't understand how this game is getting like 7, 8, and 9. It's just like, no. Like once you reach the middle of the game, you replay all the levels. All the freaking levels again. It's like, it's the most lazy thing that I have ever seen. It's like, alright, imagine that, I don't know, you're playing Call of Duty, and you reach the middle of the campaign, and from that point forth, you replay all the levels, it's just on a little bit of harder difficulty. So I make a review, and I say, look, this is unacceptable. Like, what? This is some recycled garbage. Why are people giving this game such high scores? And my video was downvoted. It's like, oh, you don't understand V, it's Kojima! Kojima V! Kojima! Like, what the fuck is this Kojima? Like, maybe he made some good games in the past, but this one isn't it. It's like, no, Kojima! Oh, alright. You know, like, whatever. Maybe I didn't understand the themes and the subplots of Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain. You know, like, to me, the story was bad. The villain wasn't even scary. Like, there's this kid that for some reason required a spanking, but no one gave it to him. And they keep him on the base until he steals some giant robot and fucks up. Like, I never understood anything. Like, again, maybe I need to play the previous games for some deeper understanding into the lore of that garbage. But whatever. You know, fine. Like, Kojima. But Kojima is supposed to make this Death Stranding game, which features that guy from The Walking Dead, which I'm pretty sure you guys know about. We were supposed to play Silent Hill, but they canceled that game. And it's something with a baby sitting in a man's lungs, sucking a thumb. I don't know, like, whatever. It looked interesting. I was like, okay, I'm going to get Death Stranding. And 4 years ago, you'd have asked Kojima, like, what is Death Stranding about? It's like, I'm not telling. 3 years ago, what's Death Stranding about? I'm not saying. 2 years, what is Death Stranding about? Oh, just wait and see. And now finally, it's like, what is Death Stranding about? Oh, it's about Brexit and Donald Trump. Excuse me? What the fuck? You know, like, I've seen this article in BBC News, and I'm like, no, come on. This is just, you know, BBC being nitwits again. Like, obviously the game made by a Japanese man cannot be about Donald Trump. No, it is. Like, it actually is. Like, you read the article, and this is the big brain take from Kojima about Death Stranding. Now, here's my thoughts. Apparently, the game is shit. Like, even the shills, the people that are trying, and they're desperately trying in order to give this game a good review, they're saying it's like, while the story might be interesting, and there are some things that are going for the game, there is a lot of fetch quests. Like, this is the game, right? It's an open world with difficult terrain, and you constantly have to do fetch quests. You go in this base, and they tell you to send your information to that base, and that is literally the game. That's the gameplay. And a lot of people aren't enjoying it. And honestly, why would I enjoy being the postal man? You know, like the mailman. I kind of see why people might not enjoy, you know, this work of art, which I'm pretty sure it's Kojima, but shut the fuck up, it's not a good game. You know, like people are saying, and from their description, I assume it's not a good game. Now, maybe we're wrong, and when the game comes out, it's really great, but from what I see from the trailers and the description, yeah, it does seem to be this. All right, it's just like big places where you walk around and you just, like, use ladders and bridges and shit in order to get from one place to another. Like, if this is your idea of entertainment and enjoyment, all right, not mine. Okay. So apparently, all of a sudden, Kojima is saying, "Oh no, this is about Donald Trump." So what I think is happening, right? What I think is happening is that every time a game is poor, or a movie, or a TV show, whenever they don't have the substance in order to sell by themselves, you have this marketing team which is telling people, "Oh yeah, say that it's about Donald Trump."
Now we'll hear from Andre Carson, a Muslim member of Congress.
Excuse me, GK.
Andre. In there.
Andre.
Andre's
I know, right? Greetings from the great state of Indiana. I'm Congressman Andre Carson. Not only do I represent Indiana's 7th Congressional District very proudly, but I happen to be a Muslim and a former police officer.
Because that's going to drive controversy and that's going to sell your game. It never works. A little never like this to me just confirms it. It's like a Japanese man crying about immigration. Motherfucker, like Japan is one of the most secluded first world nations. Alright? Like compared to all the other first world nations, Japan is one that is the most likely to defend its borders. You bitch about Donald Trump wanting to build a wall. Japan has an ocean. Alright? I mean, look at this, right? He says that the game's message is not targeted at any one country or community. Bringing people back together is a universal theme in his eyes. When we're connected, we have a responsibility over each other, but social media doesn't seem to have that responsibility. Caring for each other is what makes people feel good. We've always been like that in the past. I want people to remember that and feel it in my game. He says that he is very prone to loneliness and think there are similar people all around the world, especially gamers. So when those people play the game, they realize people like them exist all over the world. Knowing that even though I'm lonely, there are other people like me makes them feel at ease. That's what I would like to feel when I'm playing this game. Now remember, this is not about any country or any political statement, but President Trump right now is building a wall, Kojima tells us. Then you have Brexit, where the UK is trying to leave the European Union, and it feels like there are a lot of walls and people thinking only about themselves in the world. In Death Stranding, we're using bridges to represent connections. There are options to use them or break them. It's about making people think about the meaning of connection. So let me get this straight. Right. In order for me to connect with other people, I need to leave the door to my house open non-stop. Or maybe not even have walls to my house, right? This is how you connect to other people. If you have wall around your house, you're thinking that the people outside your house are probably thieves and they want to steal your shit. Is this... walls are racist, aren't they? This is what I understand. Like, from what I gather, like, Trump is not against immigration. Like, he's not saying, if I get reelected, I will put immigration to a halt. Zero. No one gets in, no one gets out. He's just saying if people want to come in, they should use the fucking door and not try to get through the places that haven't been walled up yet. Is this an argument that doesn't make sense? Like, probably today. I don't know. Like, if you have borders and you're saying, yeah, people should just come through the door, please, for the love of God, just use the proper channels. No, that's racist. Yes, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Like, the difference between an illegal and an immigrant is the same difference between a guest and a home invader, right? But the left has managed to make it so that there is no more difference, right? Like, to them, if you say people should only come to my house by knocking at the door, no. Like, they do not differentiate between those people and the ones trying to come in the middle of the night, jump your fence, and be on your property. There's literally no difference. None whatsoever. The one with the European Union is even more funny. It's like, okay, so if my country gives away its sovereignty to some unelected foreign official, then this is what building bridges is about. This is what collaborating and getting people together is about. Not wanting for people that I have no electoral power over to make laws in my country is burning bridges. Interesting. Right. Why didn't Japan join the USSR then? Like, Kojima, can you tell us? Oh my god, like, seriously, it is really interesting, especially since you have a Japanese game developer making these statements. Which makes me believe that this is a PR campaign that's telling him, it's like, okay, your game is shit, right? The reviews aren't that good. Say these things in order to create some controversy so people talk about your game and hopefully buy it. This is what it looks like to me. You know, like, because none of his takes have any sort. So it's like, if I don't allow my landlord to decide what I can buy in my house and what food I'm allowed to eat and how I'm allowed to keep the things that I buy, then I'm breaking bridges and I'm not communicating with other people. Like, the only way to communicate with other people is to pay more taxes, allow them to have more power over you and more authority over you, and make sure that you compete with the rest of the world when you want to find a job. That's the only way to build bridges. Insane. You know, what else do you have to say about it? Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm going to see the Kojima Defense Force on this. I'm really curious. Like, what are they going to say? Oh, V, you still don't understand. It's the themes of the game. Maybe. I don't know. Personally, I'm not going to buy this game. I wanted to buy it, but it looks boring. I'm sorry. It does. Like, going from point A to point B isn't something that really entertains me. You know, I want to go from point A to point B and kill some motherfuckers. You know, like, shoot someone in the ass. That's what I want to play in my video game. Shoot people in the ass. That's literally what makes fun for me. Now, just traveling around a big empty map doesn't really seem like the kind of game that I enjoy. But hey, we're going to see when the actual reviewers from YouTube get their hands on their game and play. Because right now, it's only the shills that get to play. Right? They get to play the game before everyone else. And if the shills are saying that the game is meh, just let that sink in. Let me know what you think, and I'll be looking for the downvotes for this video for disrespecting Kojima.